It's been about 15 years or a decade and a half since we last seen the Seattle Supersonics. We last saw them in 2008, which was also Kevin Durant's rookie season. And it's kind of crazy to even think that Kevin Durant's been in the league for a decade and a half at this point. But it's the point that we're at. And I know that Seattle fans are growing more and more impatient as days go on, as years go on, without seeing their beloved Supersonics team. And the question that's been around for the past couple of years is will the Seattle Supersonics return? And if they do return, when will they return? So in this video, we're going to dive into what's going on with Seattle Supersonics. So you guys are interested in this topic and videos like this, please make sure to hit that like button. While you're at it, hit that red button to subscribe and turn on post notifications. But the fact you even made it to this far in this video, I appreciate y'all support. Thank you for watching. So the first thing we need to address in this video is why did the league leave Seattle in the first place? It's not like Seattle is a small market. Of course, it's not Chicago, it's not LA, it's not New York, but it's not a small market by any imagination. There's a good thriving fan base there. And if you look at the city's growth over time, it's even more people in Seattle than there was when the league first left. So it's not like the outlook of the city growth is bad neither. So it makes you wonder, why did the team leave in the first place? The real reason why the Seattle Supersonics are not in Seattle anymore, or just not a franchise anymore in general, is because of failure to find public funding for construction. So back when it was time to get the stadium updated, the stadium needed serious renovation and needed updating because there's a certain regulation, certain code that needs to be up to date for every single NBA team and their arena. And at the time, the Seattle Supersonics owner was looking to get some funding, some public funding at that, through taxes, to be able to help construct the stadium. Of course, as you guys can probably assume, the proposal got shut down by the city of Seattle. And once the owner realized that he didn't want to or wasn't able to fund the whole arena himself, he decided to move on from the project. So he decided to find suitors instead that were able to take over the franchise. And he claimed that when he got approached for the deal to be able to sell the franchise, that he was under the impression that the franchise would stay in Seattle. But a lot of Seattle residents kind of raised an eyebrow to this notion and kind of believed that he already knew that the team was being planned to move to Oklahoma City instead of Seattle. However way you want to slice it, this decision cost the Seattle City their favorite team. After he sold the team because he couldn't get public funding for the construction of the arena, it got sold to Bennett, and Bennett, of course, immediately moved the team to OKC, which again, he promised that the team was going to stay put as well. However, a lot of people have raised eyebrows at him too, saying that he knew all along his plans to not keep the team in Seattle. Now, granted, I don't know which way it goes because it is a lot that goes into the funding of these new arenas, and the city of Seattle, you can kind of understand from both sides of the equation. You can kind of understand why the Seattle residents didn't want to pay their hard-working tax dollars to go to the construction of some stadium that they don't even know how it's going to benefit them. And at the same time, you can also understand from the owner's perspective, if he wasn't able to get the funding that he was looking for, then to just move on and make the best financial decision for himself. So I can't really blame either party in this scenario, but at the same instance, that's the main reason why they left in the first place. Now, the second part of this equation that we got to break down into, is Seattle even ready to get back to Supersonics? Because it's all good and dandy to have this idea in our head, but it doesn't matter if the city's not ready to move forward with the project. And the short answer for that is yes, they're very ready, and they've been ready. They have a new stadium that they built called Climate Pledge Arena, and this is the same stadium where the hockey team plays at, where the Seattle University School basketball team plays at. This is a stadium that's mostly a hockey indoor stadium right now. It's labeled as an indoor entertainment arena, and mostly is built around hockey right now. However, there's basketball that's played there already with the University of Seattle team. In addition, it is very ready for a top tier franchise team to move into there and play basketball. I'm pretty sure that the Seattle Storm, the WNBA affiliate, already plays in that stadium. So it is up to date. It is good for NBA regulations. It's just a matter of getting the team there. So the city of Seattle right now is ready for the team in terms of stadium. Again, they had the venue for the team to come back. In addition, the population has only grown since the Supersonics have first left. The city's population keeps growing at a steady rate, and there's thousands and thousands of people that keep moving to Seattle every single year. The business district is doing pretty well, and with the venue being smack dead in the downtown district, the nightlife has only grown since the Supersonics have first left the city. So if they come back, then there's even more opportunity for businesses, nightlife, restaurants, bars, hotels, and any types of entertainment, nightlife based businesses to thrive. Seattle's just looking like a good city for millennials and a good city to attract tourists, visitors, and those who just want to have a good time hanging out in the Seattle downtown area. The third part of this is, since Seattle's ready, what would it take for it to get done for the Supersonics to actually make it back to Seattle? Now, there's a couple things that need to happen in order for this to work. And granted, all of these things need to happen in order for it to work. So it's not an easy process to make happen. For one, all 30 NBA owners right now currently will have to vote yes in order for the team to come back. That's something where it could be very compelling to fans for the team to come back. It could be very compelling for the media and fans in general for the Supersonics to come back, very nostalgic and all that. We got to look at it from the owner's perspective, because if all 30 owners say yes, then the owners will have to go into, I'm not sure if you guys play 2K and play My GM. If you ever use expansion team, you will see the type of draft you have where basically every team will have to choose a couple of players, whether I think it's like 10 to 11 players, and they get to protect from going to the expansion draft, and any other player that they did not choose to protect is eligible to go into the expansion draft. And the reason why they do this expansion draft for the new team is so that there isn't a unequal level of balance when it comes to the new franchise and their level of competitiveness starting out. So the franchises, all 30 owners have to be willing to put their franchises, their rosters on the line to make this new team happen. Well, technically old team returning. And we're not sure all 30 owners are going to be down for that. That's something that's a serious decision for every single owner to make. Another thing is that Vegas would need to be prepared to bring the team back. And I know you guys are asking, what does Vegas have to do with it? Well, Vegas actually has everything to do with this. See, right now there's 30 NBA teams, but if the Seattle Supersonics come back, then it leaves it unbalanced. The Western Conference will have more teams than the Eastern Conference, and it wouldn't make sense in general. So in order for things to balance out, Vegas would need to bring their team, bring a new franchise. Now, it doesn't have to be Vegas technically, but Vegas is the most ready city right now for an NBA franchise. They definitely need to be able to be on the same page as the Seattle Supersonics if they want to make this happen, because again, the NBA needs to be an even number of teams, and we'll assume that the two new teams will both go to the Western Conference. So we'll probably watch a Western Conference team get switched over to the Eastern Conference to make it even out and have it 16 teams on both sides of the conference. Another thing that need to happen on top of that, after all of this, would need to be a new TV deal and labor renegotiations, because again, for the two new franchises to come back, there'll need to be labor negotiations to make sure that everything's in place for the workers. This is a good thing because it could bring thousands of jobs to the city. However, there's also a lot of financial stuff that goes into it. So this is all things that have to be worked out with the league, with both cities, the owners and the franchises. It's a lot of things that go into it that we just don't see on the surface. And beyond just the labor negotiations, there's also the TV deal aspect of things. Who's going to get the TV rights to the local market for these games? Global brands like ESPN, they're going to want to know if they're broadcasting to 30 teams or 32 teams. They're going to maybe want to renegotiate their contract for displaying these national games. The money, the financial side of things may look way different for a 30-team league versus a 32-team league. Vegas is a huge market, and because Seattle's returning as a team and already has established fan base, they are a huge market as well. So these are not small markets. There's going to be a lot that goes into these negotiations for TV rights, labor negotiations, and the whole nine. So again, there's a lot that needs to go into play in order for Seattle to return to the NBA. Can it happen? Yes. Is it likely to happen? We just don't know yet. We're going to have to find out in the 23 to 24 season, which is not that far away. It is upcoming summer. We can figure out what is going to happen, and a lot's going to be talked about in the CBA agreement, but this is definitely going to be one of the things that pop up. And for Seattle Supersonics fans, I really hope that thing works out. I really hope y'all get y'all team back. For Vegas fans, I think it'd be cool to have a team in Vegas. I hope that we can finally get some black owners up in there, but that's to be determined. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Do you guys think that Seattle should get their team back, or you think this is too much work and that the NBA should stay as it is? Until next time, it is your boy Teflon Perp. I'll catch y'all on the next one.